Attack on Titan Season 4 Episode 19, titled Two Brothers. In the last episode of Attack on Titan, the war on Paradis reached brand new heights with the arrival of Zeke. The Marleyan forces initially only had to worry about fighting Eren with the power of two titans, since his founding titan power is not accessible by himself, but now that Zeke has arrived, the entire fate of the world is at stake, as he and Eren attempt to make contact to use the founding titan's power. We also had the self-realization of Gabi in regards to the self-hate between Eldians, and the fact that she was repeating the same mistakes over and over again ever since she arrived in Paradis. Paired alongside Falco's love confession and the main scout members joining the battle, it made for a really great episode. But today's episode, episode 19, is definitely one for the history books. So today I'm going to be breaking down and analysing this latest episode of Attack on Titan, while clearing up some things you might have missed or weren't sure about. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and check out some of my other Attack on Titan content. Also, it's your boy's birthday today, so if you're ever thinking of a day to subscribe to the channel, why not do it today? And on another note, I should have another Attack on Titan video outside my weekly breakdowns dropping next week, so keep an eye out. And again, thank you for all the support you guys show, but let's get right into the video. With the beginning of episode 19, the conflict escalates as we see each side desperately trying to win. Galliard, in a desperate attempt, bites down on Eren's leg to try and stop him and Zeke making contact, only to get mercilessly beat down on by Eren, effectively taking him out of the fight for good. At this point, Eren has had enough of Reiner and Galliard getting in his way, and the same holds true for Peak and Magath, who are trying to land the finishing blow on Zeke, only to be met by Flock and his fellow yeagerists. So it's just a desperate struggle at this point for both sides, and in the midst of the battle, Reiner begs Galliard to get back up and fight, since they are so close to stopping Eren and Zeke. And as he reaches out for his comrade, Reiner inadvertently triggers a memory inside Porco's head of when Reiner, Marcel, Annie and Bertolt were on their mission to take back the founding titan from Paradis. So for the very first time, Porco gets to see his brother Marcel's memories as the Jaw Titan. Since if you remember from the first part of the final season, Reiner asked Porco if after inheriting the Jaw Titan from Ymir, if he saw any of Marcel's memories, which he hadn't. As Porco was the only member of the Marleyan warriors in Reiner's time to not inherit one of the 9 titans, it affected him deeply, leading to him doubting himself and the Marleyan army as to why they chose Reiner over him. I think it's very clear through his character and his actions that he's very competitive, especially when it comes to Reiner. He's always trying to prove himself. But at this point where he sees his brother Marcel's memories, he finally gets to be at peace with the fact he was good enough and was worthy to become a warrior, which leads to him making the decision he does shortly after. And although this might seem trivial to most, learning what Galliard did in that moment was very important to someone who had lived their entire life trying to be a warrior. Shortly after Zeke realizes the state he's in after being shot, he prepares to scream so he can turn all the Eldians who drank the wine with his spinal fluid in it into titans, which will effectively allow him to turn the tide of the battle in his and Eren's favour. But things aren't that simple, since Falco is nearby and ingested some of Zeke's spinal fluid. So Colt, being the great big brother he is, pleads for Zeke not to scream so his brother doesn't get turned into a titan. And this whole situation is just tragic given the circumstances. Eren is on the brink of being taken out and so is Zeke. Falco has nothing to do with the situation but is at risk of potentially being turned into a titan. People are dying all over. It's just absolutely messy. But Colt still pleads with Zeke, his ex-mentor now traded to Marley, saying that he doesn't care if the Eldians and Marleyans want to kill each other. He does even expect Zeke to put himself at a disadvantage by not screaming, but he begs for him to hold out long enough until Falco can get out of his range, which unfortunately wasn't an option since time is of the essence for Zeke and Eren to win. Also, I just wanted to add that the acting for this scene was done really well, from Colt's desperate plea to Zeke's regret, and Falco and Gabi's brief interaction before Falco turns into a titan whilst being in his brother's grasp. It was absolutely amazing, and this whole scene just really shows you why the episode was called Two Brothers. As Zeke screams, we see Colt perish as all the Eldians turn into titans under Zeke's command, and his first order is for Falco to go at Reiner so Eren can break free, which is just absolutely insane. Also, shout out to Pixis, that man has been with us all the way since season 1, and they could even allow him to get a final drink before being turned into a titan. They just did that man absolutely wrong. However, things don't end there as Reiner's hands are now full with Falco and Eren, and when you think Zeke and Eren have finally turned the tables, Magath unleashes another shot on the Beast Titan's nape. But Zeke, being the smart man he is, leaves his titan's body while making Magath think he got the kill shot. Reiner, being under the impression that Zeke is now dead, prepares himself to unharden so Falco can eat him, but at the last moment Galliard appears in his human form, sacrificing himself to save Falco. And shout out to Porco, man, he was definitely one of my favourite titans all around, from his design and just how skilled he was with the Jaw Titan, so I'm definitely going to miss seeing him from here on out. He was truly the better man until the end, and upon witnessing his friend's demise, Reiner takes out his anger on Eren with a rage-filled punch, only for Eren to harden and exit his Titan in a flawless manner so he can make the beeline towards Zeke. Like, just look at this whole sequence was definitely one of my favourites in the whole episode, from the OST and just how dramatic it all was. And just when we think Eren has pulled off one of the smoothest escapes in anime, Gabi with her 99 accuracy beheads him using Cole's gun, which is kinda poetic in a sense. We then get a flashback between Zeke and Eren, which we had in the first part of the final season, which was essentially going over Zeke and Eren's motives. Eren's motives clearly being disproven by the end of this episode, at least partially, but that's all the flashback contained. There was nothing really new there. And when Eren's flying head falls into Zeke's hand, we get one of the best moments of the entire episode, which was the transition into the paths. So I just want to say Mappa absolutely killed it with the arrangement for this scene, everyone slowing down just to add more suspense, all the different angles simultaneously showing us what's going on in this seemingly fleeting moment, Eren's perspective of entering the paths, past events in this series being briefly shown, everything was just absolutely amazing. And we finally see Eren in the otherworldly paths, although not alone, as we see him standing in front of Zeke and a young girl who is also known as the founder of the Titans, Ymir Fritz. So Zeke, who has spent an unknown amount of time in the paths waiting for Eren to arrive, starts to explain about the founder and use the ruse of being chained to the ground due to the Valteranal's war to hear Eren's true thoughts before using the founding Titan's power, which was definitely a smart play by Zeke. Despite everything that's happened, he still wanted confirmation on Eren's true motive, and as we saw Eren say himself, there was no way he was going along with a plan as messed up as euthanizing all Eldians. He only wanted Zeke to activate the founding Titan's power. So I'm sure a lot of people watching were waiting to get a bit of insight onto how Eren's thinking. Well, there you go. But unfortunately, despite Eren being against Zeke's plan, Zeke in his time in the paths learned how to remove the Valteranal's war, which was stopping royal family members from using the founding Titan's true powers. And now Zeke has the upper hand and the founding Titan's power at his disposal, as he commands Ymir to chain down Eren. And with the episode's end, Zeke believes that Eren is acting the way he is purely due to the brainwashing of their father, as he states that he will save Eren and both of them will save the world together. So things are definitely getting serious in Attack on Titan, with the whole world being at stake. And with that, we come to the end of the episode. In regards to my rating and overall view on the episode 19 was my favourite part of part 2, hands down. Like, what is it with episode 19s in the last few years? They've just been performing, first Demon Slayer, now AOT. It just doesn't make sense. Maybe it's the anticipation I've had for this particular episode since its content released in the manga, but Mappa absolutely killed it, so shout out to them. The character acting, voice acting and animation was amazing, so I would definitely give episode 19 of the final season a 9.5 out of 10. I absolutely love Attack on Titan, so seeing how good today's episode was really made me happy. But what would you rate today's episode out of 10? Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. With that being said, remember to let me know your thoughts on everything that happened today, and also if I missed out any parts you wanted to be talked about, and I'll do my best to respond and explain, since I know there's definitely going to be questions. And I never really addressed this because it's not something I usually have to worry about, thank God, but try not to spoil anything about the show or upcoming episodes, since I know it's more likely to happen, especially when we have these really hype episodes there. And that's all I want to say about that. I appreciate you guys for all the support. We are right around the corner from 8,000 subscribers, and I couldn't be more grateful. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.